USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at usaa.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
This episode is brought to you by PetSmart. Stop by for Yappy Hour with your pet at PetSmart. Save $5 on walk-in grooming services like nail trims, ear cleaning, brushing, and more. No appointment needed every weekday from 2 to 6 p.m. And while you're there, Yappy Hour includes exclusive in-store deals like 25% off pet toys. Visit services.petsmart.com/grooming to learn more.
Have you always had a good relationship with her?
I mean, it's been on and off. She's flip-flops sometimes. One day she likes you, the next day she doesn't.
Okay.
So,
like any mother-in-law, right?
This is the plaintiff, Ariana Adams. She says the defendant, her ex-boyfriend's mother, stole her valuable belongings from a storage locker they once shared. The defendant was the only one who had a key to the unit, and the cops said there were no signs of forced entry, so this sticky-fingered woman surely owes her $4,700. This is the defendant, Anne. She says the plaintiff is the one who took all her stuff, and now she's trying to pull a fast one by blaming her. She never took one thing of the plaintiff's, treated the ingrate like her own daughter, and this whole thing is ludicrous. She's accused of helping herself to everything. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $3,000 for past due rent and car repairs.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Ariana Adams, you are suing Anne. You've asked to be referred to only as Anne, and we'll do that. For $4,700 that you say she stole from a joint storage facility. You are counterclaiming against her $3,000 for back rent, storage, car repairs, and harassment. What is your relationship to her?
her son is my significant other.
Who's that gentleman with you?
That's my best friend since middle school.
Okay, that's not her son?
No.
Okay. So what happened?
Okay, her son and I rented an apartment from October 1st until December 31st of 2012. On that date, we moved our stuff out of our apartment in Jamaica, Queens, because there was black mold in our bathroom.
Do you have children together?
No.
Okay.
So then we did that, and when I was going to move back upstate to Albany, New York, she offered for me to stay at her house. We moved our belongings to her house. On the 3rd of January, before that, her son and I were talking about getting a storage unit because she lives in like a lower level apartment, so it's not much space. And then she said, why don't you get one around the corner so that we can all have our stuff here together? Okay, I found one online. We went to go look at it on the 3rd of January. We went, signed
How long had you been dating the boy?
For 4 years.
Oh, a long time. All right, so you know her well.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Have you always had a good relationship with her?
I mean, it's been on and off. She's flip-flops sometimes. One day she likes you, the next day she doesn't.
Okay.
So,
like any mother-in-law. Right. All right, go ahead. Like any boyfriend's mother. Go ahead.
So then we get the storage room. We moved the stuff in. We moved her stuff in also. I stayed at her place for the month of January. There's some stuff happened throughout the month.
What?
And just, I don't know. It was just like back and forth stuff with her son had happened, going back and forth. And it was just like.
I don't know what you mean. That's not clear. Put your hand down. I'm going to hear your version in a moment. What's your version on what happened in January? Oh,
in January, like her son had got into some trouble, and then it was.
What kind of trouble? Criminal trouble?
No.
She says yes, so she doesn't care. All right, criminal trouble. And then what happened?
Okay, then it was like the family was like, they were on me for why he got in trouble. So
how were you responsible for how he got in trouble?
I'm always
What happened in January, ma'am?
They went out together. they end up bickering. Once they bicker, he goes her way, she goes in his way. Not a problem. But anytime
I think you meant she goes her way, he goes his way.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
It's always a bickering issue. Something happened in the club, and I guess he got caught up in certain things. He got pulled aside for it. Which
I don't know what
wasn't
that means. Did he get arrested?
Yes, he got arrested.
Okay.
So the case was dismissed because it was just not true or anything. But it's always the same group of friends. They know that, she knows that, he know that. But once they bicker, they bicker.
I don't know what you mean. You mean that when your son and his girlfriend have a fight, he goes out with people who are no good?
Right, because no, all of them have the same friend. All of them have the same friend.
All right.
They all
and
have
she
the
should
same
know better
friend.
and not fight with him so he won't go out and get arrested?
No.
Why isn't he here?
No.
This is his mother and his girlfriend. Why isn't he here? Where is he? You guys are from where? Oh, so far. You guys are very close. He's right here. Why isn't he here?
He doesn't want to get involved.
Oh, don't.
Well, I have a statement from him.
Go
He
ahead.
doesn't want to get involved. So, but I told them if they continue on with this bickering, this will always be the outcome because she knows how to pull his buttons. I'm the calm one. And
Yeah, really, why doesn't he just control himself? I mean, it sounds like,
You're right.
If she's not right for him, she's not right for him. If
And I say the
she
same
brings
thing.
out the worst in him, I understand
Yes.
what you're saying.
Yes.
Then you encourage your
Yes.
child to make better choices and
I
to move
do,
on.
but-
But you can't live his life either.
Right, I don't.
Right.
So I said, well, these are the end results of what you do.
But you can't get him out of your house and out of your contracts and out of your, there's no reason for you as a grown woman to have to, how old are you?
I'm 21.
How old is he?
He's 21.
Okay, so you kind of make the choice
Right.
to have them in your life and in that room and in your kitchen and in your
To a
toilet
certain-
and
to a
too
certain
much in
degree.
you, you know?
Right, to a certain degree.
Yeah, that's
I gave
enabling.
I gave them stipulations.
All right, so you end up, whatever is the reason, you end up moving out to Albany, correct or not correct?
Yes, I
Okay,
told
you
her
moved
I
to
wanted
Albany.
to leave.
Now we have the remaining situation that you have stuff in a storage unit with her. What happens?
Okay, I got a job offer in the city. I had a couple more interviews lined up. I said, okay, I'm gonna get some clothes.
This is when?
This is March 25th. I go to the storage unit, get my clothes out that I needed, and I'm like, all right, I need a certain pair of shoes. I go to look for the shoes, and I'm like, I started screaming to the top of my lungs, like my shoes are gone. They were
You
in
have to scream at the top of your lungs over that?
Yes.
Okay.
I collect, so it's just
I collect what?
I collect sneakers, I collect shoes.
Were you gonna
and-
wear sneakers to the interview?
No, and that's the whole thing. I couldn't wear sneakers. But the other interviews I had were office settings, like in fashion and accessory offices. So I was like, okay, I need dress shoes for this. I get there, my shoes are gone. I have 2 pictures that show before and after of like what was there and what I moved in and what was there when I got there.
Okay, let me see the pictures.
They're labeled.
You're suing, according to you, for 10 pairs of Michael Jordan sneakers at $120 a pair.
Yes. And there
How
were
do you
other,
have 10 pairs of Michael Jordan sneakers?
because when my grandmother was alive, that was the last bit of her that I was holding on to. When
She had
was
Michael Jordan sneakers, your
No,
grandma?
she bought them for me because she knew how much I love sneakers and how much I like to collect.
You're suing for an additional $2,000 for 20 pairs of shoes.
Yes, ma'am. Because they were my dress shoes, they were like little slides, there were boots in there.
You're suing for $150 for a queen comforter
Yes, it was a
and
comfort.
$200 for a feather bed,
Yes.
and then $1,000 for loss of work. Why?
Because I couldn't go on any interviews. I had no clothes to wear.
Why didn't you just go to Payless and buy a $10 pair of shoes to match?
I wasn't
whatever?
working.
Okay. Well, you couldn't find anybody with your same shoe size. You
have
couldn't
one
find your friend
friend.
for $10 to go help you buy a pair of shoes so you can go to an interview. Instead, you want me to make her pay you $1,000? Okay. Do you have proof that you had a job interview that you truly didn't go to over a pair of shoes?
I have emails that show that I had, like it shows the dates of the interviews. Mm-hmm. I can show them to you.
Nah, not really. Okay. Do you have a receipt for the feather bed, the queen comforter, 20 pairs of shoes, or 10 pairs of Michael Jordan sneakers?
All of those things I've collected them over probably the
Do you have
last
any
10,
receipts,
11
yes or no?
years. No.
Okay. All right. Now, so do you have any proof of the loss of this stuff or the value of this stuff?
I have a statement from her son.
Oh, you have a statement from her son?
Yes.
Did you know that?
No.
Oh, well, here we go. Now the fun starts.
Anything else?
On this lease agreement, the lady from the public storage place, she highlighted that the only persons who have sole access to it are those listed as authorized access.
And who are the people listed as authorized
It was her and her son. And he never had access to the key because whenever he would ask her,
I'm
she
writing
would
this
tell him
statement in
no.
regards to the small claims case, blah, 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 blah. items that I personally helped move into the storage unit were no longer in there were Ariana's Nike Jordan sneaker collection, a hamper filled with shoes she owned, her clothing, as well as her feather bed and covers. All my belongings originally placed there were still in the storage unit. What's going on? Did you steal the stuff from the unit?
No.
Why does your son think you did? That's your son.
I didn't take a thing.
According to you, she owes you $3,000. $300 for rent in January and February at $150 a month at your house?
Yes.
Yeah, but you were letting her stay there to...
Both of them.
Right, but you were letting them stay there at your largesse because of your generosity. When did they start owing you rent?
No. The agreement was, I said, let's all have a conversation in this kitchen. I said, first of all, if you could have paid $1,000 where you were and that you lost the apartment, you're here now, between both of y'all, it's going to be $150 each. That was December when they moved in.
Did she tell you that?
She said that we could pay her. I tried to give her $200 on multiple occasions. She said, no, keep that for your pocket, save it, put it in a shoebox from your room.
Were you guys supposed to pay $150 each?
No, there was never a set amount.
So why were you giving her $200, offering her
out of good faith? You opened your home to me. At least that's the least I can do. You know what I'm saying? That's how I felt about it after it was her idea, and then she put it on her son because he was working.
You're suing for $184.45 a storage unit for 3 months from January, February, and March. That's the amount, the total amount of the storage unit?
Yes.
Didn't she pay January?
No, she didn't.
I have it here.
No, she didn't.
I have it right here.
No, I have it right here also.
And I have the same one. I have it right here with my
negative.
Let
me tell you what
you're suing for. This is fascinating. $1,500 for car repairs. Why are you suing for that?
Okay, because when my son decided not to come home and it ended up in Albany and broke down, and I told
when did that happen?
In April, he drove down. May, they called me.
It happened in May.
Wait, of 2012?
2012.
Okay, but all this other stuff happened in January of 2013?
Right.
Okay.
So I said, okay. I said, I was going to squash everything. It's done. It's over. This is your child compared to, because I'm just getting tired of the ups and downs. This is ridiculous.
Let me just tell you, you know what the best thing you could have done is just...
Said no.
Yeah, well, said no, but that's gone.
Right.
But squash it, like you called it.
Right.
But here's the problem that we have. She brought you to court because she says that you cleaned her out.
No, negative.
Okay?
That's
and
negative.
well, if you think they owe you $1,500, that might be a motive for you cleaning her out. Why does your own son think you did it?
No. My son doesn't.
The car repairs, if it's your son's car, why does she owe you $1,500 for car repairs?
Because they've been using it from beginning the car got fixed, and I told him if I'm fixing them.
Who is the legal owner of the car?
His father is.
Say it again?
His father.
Okay, so, you know, and it's a car that so his father gave him the car? Or
for school.
Okay, well, that's okay.
Okay, I know, I understand, but once you came here in May and you want to move over
the
there,
last thing you're suing for is harassment, $1,015.55, I guess, to bring you to the statutory maximum. Tell me what's going on with that.
Oh,
in April, what happens?
April 1st. It was spring break. It was my tenant's daughter's birthday. I hear a big bang on my door. Bang, bang, the whole house shook. I went to the door. I peeked outside. I go, okay, who's this person? I don't know who this person is.
Who is the person?
I don't know.
It was my sister.
Your sister?
Okay.
Go on.
All right. So I said, okay. Now I see Ariana standing there. I called my tenant upstairs, said, go outside and see what they want. Oh, if you don't open up this door, I'm going to kick down this door, blah, 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 blah. Really, I have my grandson and I have my son at home. I'm not opening up the door. So when the police came, she gets in a white vehicle and she drives off. She leaves her sister in the cut of the driveway.
Wait, she leaves her sister there?
Yeah.
Did you leave your sister there?
I went around the corner to meet her son. And I was like, well, do you want to go back to the house and see if she'll open the door? I don't want to just go in. But
why is your sister there banging on the door?
She knocked on the door probably like 3
to do
4
what?
times.
Why are you there?
Because I was going to pick up my belongings from the storage place to empty the storage room out. So I was like, you live right around the corner. I feel as if you have taken my things because you were the last person to access.
This is when you discovered the stuff.
Yeah,
but your sister happens to be with you?
My sister was with me to help me move my belongings.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So if you're in a relationship and there's a lot of fighting and bickering, especially toward the beginning, is that a sign you should bail?
Yes. Absolutely.
Why do you say yes? I mean, can't you work through some of these things?
No, you can't. They've already built up bad habits that can't be broken with that bickering.
So if you really love somebody, but you can't get along with them real well, would you try to make it better or would you leave them?
Leave them.
You would leave them, seriously. How about you?
Well, I don't know. It depends on how much you really love the person, because if you really love someone, you'll like work through what you have to do to get to like where you want to be with that person. You know what I mean? Like if you really love someone, like
so a nuclear argument, you just got to really love them, right?
Yeah, you have to really love them. You want to be with them.
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
Ladies, you guys have formed what we call in Spanish un arroz con mango. Do you know what that means? A rice with mangoes, where you can't tell where the mango begins and the rice ends. You cannot tell. I cannot tell. I look at this and I think you're nuts. Because when you tell me that you want $1,000 for not being able to go to a job interview, you sound like a complete idiot. Do you really think I'm an idiot? That you can't go to an interview, so you're going to charge her $1,000? Seriously? And then you've got $1,200 worth of Michael Jordans, but you don't have a place to shack? You know, I mean, the whole thing is weird. You look perfectly normal. You want $2,000 for 20 pairs of shoes? You have 20 pairs of shoes, but you can afford 20 pairs of shoes. Stop. That cost $2,000, but you can't afford $10 to go to an interview? Stop. You tell me, oh, she owes me for rent. But you're the same lady who, frankly, I don't know. You make me uncomfortable. You make me uncomfortable because now not only is she accusing you of taking some of her stuff, but your son, according to this affidavit, says you went in there. You're the only other person with the key, besides, of course, your boyfriend. How much do you trust your boyfriend?
He
The
doesn't
wuss.
have a key.
Okay.
I have the key
Then
right here.
you want her to pay $1,500 in your son's car repairs because apparently your son is so infantilized by the both of you. Okay. Neither one of you say, hey, listen, you go to court with me.
No.
Or else you're done. No, neither one of you say that. You're still going to date him. And you're still going to house them.
No.
Yeah, no, I should say not.
No.
I should say not. You want her to pay $1,500 that clearly is your son's car. It's in his father's name, but somehow she's got to foot the bill. You want harassment charge. By the way, your sister ended up getting busted, right?
They arrested
She got arrested for harassment.
It wasn't even really an arrestment. They just brought her over to where I was.
She's charged with a crime.
She wasn't.
What was she? Can we see what she got charged with? When's her court date?
It's in June.
For trespassing?
Yeah, that's all it was for. It was, and the police officer
Wouldn't
told
she just
us
leave when they told her to leave? Is that what the problem is? Your sister has
Pretty
like
much,
an anger management problem?
No, she doesn't. She knocked on the door.
No, she didn't knock on the door.
Yeah, but you don't
He
get
goes
a
a letter.
trespassing violation for knocking on the door.
Okay, she knocked multiple times.
From my tenant.
But even that doesn't get the police. They just say go away.
Right.
So what really happens?
No,
Exactly.
seriously.
What's your police report?
No,
Oh, gotta
I
see
have
this.
letters in
No, I don't want to see letters. Does anybody have a police report?
There was
or is
no
this it?
police report made. That's the only thing. He said the judge will throw it out because you've never been in any trouble before.
Okay. All right, take this thing back. that date is perspective. This is unbelievable.
This is
unbelievable.
I don't know why I'm here.
I got my suspicion about what might or might not have happened, but I have to end up believing you for you to win your case and you for you to win your case. And quite frankly, I wouldn't believe either one of you if your tongues came notarized. And that's the problem that we're having. You don't have a $4,700 case against her, and you don't have a $3,000 case against her. Let me tell you what the best thing for both of you would be. You need to go find yourself a man, not a boy. And you need to tell your boy to become a man and get out of your house. Okay? He doesn't need to choose. He just needs to be gone. He needs to be gone. He needs to make his own decisions. You can't choose for him, but he needs to be gone. And you need to stop enabling him. Good luck, ladies, because I can't rule for either one of you.
Well, both sides come out with nothing here in this case, and so what's your reaction? You're the plaintiff here. You sued for $4,700.
I mean, I know she did it. She's just so overbearing. She's a controlling person. She's crooked.
How did you think it was going to end when you moved in to your boyfriend's mom's house?
Like, it wasn't going to end good, and this is how it is.
All right, right around the corner this way. All right, come on out here and tell me what's your feeling on the outcome. You got nothing for what you sued for either, because judge couldn't believe you.
I'm happy with the outcome.
What are you happy about?
It was ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
You gonna let your son stand on his own 2 feet from now on?
Yeah, he is.
How are you gonna do that?
When I get home, I'll figure that out.
All right, Harvey, what do you got?
This guy is a slacker. They are excusing him over and over again, and he is a bad guy in many ways. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? Wait. Well, with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills. Wait, did I say job title yet? Get started today and see how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
This is the plaintiff, Lori Seiler. She says she rented the defendant a beachfront condo, and the guy signed a 1-year lease. Then 2 short months later, ups and moves out. When she inspected the place, the defendant left all the doors unlocked, turned the heat all the way up to the maximum, and the place reeked of smoke. She sent the guy a letter telling him she'd be withholding his security. Now she's out rent. There's an outstanding electric bill, and she's owed an additional $1,359.11, the amount she's suing for today. This is the defendant, Dave Cameron. He says he was displaced by Hurricane Sandy, and the plaintiff told him she was flexible about the amount of time he'd be renting her place. When he did, in fact, find more permanent housing, he told the plaintiff he'd be moving out, and she said okay. Then, a month later, she told him she wouldn't be returning his security. So he told her she was a thief and never spoke to her again. Now she's suing him? Ha! He's accused of smoking up the joint.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant wreaked havoc on her condo and maybe even maliciously. But the defendant blames it on Hurricane Sandy. It's the case of you really blow.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Lori Seiler? Yes. Okay, you're suing Dave Cameron, your former tenant, for $1,359.11 that you say he owes you from damages when he rented your apartment and, according to you, broke a lease. Tell me about it.
Yes, Your Honor. I rented the condo to David on December 1st. He signed a year lease. I even gave him a choice to do a winter rental, which is less expensive. I had a lot of people looking for rentals due to the being displaced from Hurricane Sandy.
And this is a beachfront condo?
Yes. And he chose to do the year-round lease, and that was started December 1st. On January 29th, he called me and said, I will be moving out this weekend. I'll be out by Monday, February 4th. Please prorate my security and send it to this address.
Prorate, use the security for rent for 4 days and give me the rest.
Correct, and I will leave the address in the apartment when I move out.
And what'd you say?
And I really didn't get into a discussion. I happened to be in Florida with my mother visiting my son, and she was very ill with bronchitis. So I just said, this is the notice you're giving me? And he said yes, and I just let it go, figured I'd get home, send him a letter, which I did.
And what did your letter say?
It gave him an accounting of the lease, saying that he was not getting it back and that he owed me money. He had left, when I got there about a week and a half later, the door was wide open, the heat was on, which he told me didn't work, so I guess he thought it didn't work, but it was hot.
What do you mean the door was wide open?
It was wide open. The screen door was closed, the inside door was open. So
why would he leave the door open?
I don't know.
Was he still living there, you mean?
No, he left the key there, he left his address there, his belongings were gone.
And he left the door open and the heat on?
Yep, his belongings were gone. There was some food in the fridge a little bit. There was an ashtray there. It smelled like smoke, which the lease says there's no smoking. My tenants don't like, I wouldn't have slept there. It smelled like smoke. So I started trying to show it because I wanted to rent it again. And first couple of people, it smelled so bad like smoke, they said it's cute, we don't want it. So I do have a couple people showing interest now. And he did say that he thought I would be flexible, and I would. If I had gotten a month or 2 months notice, I would have let him out of the lease because I had plenty of people calling me, but I had been turning them all away because I thought he was a year renter. And that's why I'm only suing him for 2 months rent, because in my mind, I know 2 months would have been enough. I would have been happy to let him
do you have the place we rented?
No, I don't.
Okay, so it turns out 2 months isn't enough, right?
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't have held him responsible for that.
Right, but are you going to why haven't you rented it out?
I've been showing it, and I have one person who thinks he's interested, and he just came back again with his girlfriend and may sign a lease, but hasn't yet.
All right, so according to you then, he owes you rent for February, rent for March, a late fee for not paying the rent, which is in the lease $50 each time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. A smoking and cleaning fee. Tell me about the smoking and cleaning fee.
Well, the smoking fee is right on page 2 of the lease, on item number 10. It specifically says no smoking in the apartment. I will charge if there is smoke, and it reeked of smoke. It just costs more to clean. We have to clean the fabrics, the walls to get the smoke smell out of there. And that's kind of a common thing, even in hotels, to have that smoking fee.
Here's your answer to the complaint. I never agreed to pay any type of smoking or cleaning fee, so I don't feel I should have to pay that now. Did you see that in item 10 in the lease?
No, I didn't.
Well, you want to see it now, or there's none so blind as he who will not see?
No, I believe you. It's in there.
I don't believe me. Why are you going to believe me? Go ahead and see it. Let's see. Care of the apartment. Capital letters. No smoking in the apartment. There will be a fee of $150 if there is any smoking in the apartment. Were you smoking in the apartment?
Yes, I was. I never would have taken it if I knew that.
Did you read the lease before you signed it?
Not really, because
Why not?
Because it was that many pages.
It's not that many pages. It's like 7 pages, 8 pages.
Okay.
So you don't have the time to sit down for half an hour and read 7, 8 pages that you're signing and obligating yourself to?
Well, yeah, I do, but I didn't.
Okay, that's an honest man. Go ahead.
So, can a landlord legally, do you think, I didn't finish the question. Can a landlord prohibit a tenant from smoking in an apartment?
I believe so, yeah. I mean, it's their apartment. They're the landlord, you know. They got to look out for their complexes.
Should a landlord be allowed to say no smoking in my apartment?
Yes, because it's the law now, and it's.
But forget about the law. Should a landlord have the right to say it to a tenant who's paying money?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Going inside the courtroom.
And she told me, quote, "I'm flexible. If you have to leave, no problem."
Okay. But you signed a lease that said you were going to be there for a year.
Yeah, until
What did you think flexible meant? This was all poo-poo and you didn't have to abide by it?
No, I thought flexible was flexible.
Right, but see, that's the reason why we have to get flexible in writing, because your idea of flexible and her idea of flexible may be two different things.
Okay.
Her idea of flexible may be, I'm not going to sue you for 9 months, and your idea of flexible may be, I get to pay 4 days of rent in February, and you get 0 days notice
well,
to
that's
get somebody
what I
else
did.
in
But
there.
then every month since then, she's added something else onto it. There was never a thing about smoking until
just read it to you.
I know you did.
Okay.
But I mean, she never.
She hadn't mentioned it. You're saying.
She never mentioned it.
All right. Who's the gentleman with you?
It's Mr. Franzo. He's the one that helped clean the apartment when I left and told me I should get out because there was no heat. I had to go out and buy a heater. I called her to have it fixed. Never got a reply.
When you were there, step to the microphone. When you were there, was there heat?
No.
Was it cold?
Very. The beach is actually from here to you. That's how close the apartment is to the beach.
Nice. Okay, and so
It's very little.
Yeah, well, it could be little and nice. How do you know the heat wasn't working? Because it was cold, or did you try it?
It was cold. I personally didn't try it.
Right,
but
right.
No, it was cold in every time I went there, so we went.
I had to go out and buy a heater. And here's a receipt for the heater.
The heat works.
Okay. Well, why would he buy an electric heater if the heat was working?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
You know,
maybe it suddenly started working. Either way.
Maybe.
All right. What is your response to owing February and March rent when you've signed a lease that says that you're going to be there for a year? Your response is, never mind what the lease says. She said...
Flexible.
Flexible. That's the best.
That's
okay.
all I can say.
All righty then. And when you charge a $100 cleaning fee, what was dirty that you had to pay $100 for a cleaning fee? Did you pay somebody $100?
I did.
Okay, can I see that?
I don't have a receipt.
You don't have a receipt?
I don't.
Then you're not gonna get that?
Okay.
Okay. And the electric bill, it's gonna be what he actually used up? And so what did you found another place?
Yes, I did.
And then did you help him move into that other place?
Yes, we were just all displaced by Sandy.
And what is the relationship between you two?
Close friends since I've been about that big.
Okay.
I usually there to read his contracts. Unfortunately, I wasn't because, yes.
Well, he can read them. He does have eyeballs.
He rescued me during Hurricane Sandy.
Oh, isn't that sweet? What happened to you during Hurricane Sandy?
He had 4.5 feet of water in his house. I only had 3.
Wow. Based on what we've gone over, I find that you are liable for February and March rent, plus the late fee, plus just the electricity that you used up in the time that you were there. I'm not going to charge you for the rest of the electricity. The smoking fee, because you agreed to it, and without proof, I'm not going to charge an extra cleaning fee. So I find in the plaintiff's favor in the amount of $1,210. Good luck, folks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So here comes the defendant. He'll be paying. Step on in here. What's your feeling on this?
Well, I think I got railroaded. I mean, Slumdog Millionaire was my favorite movie, and now I got Slumlord Millionaire.
Okay. Why don't you read the contracts that you signed?
I know. I should.
You know?
Next time. Yeah.
I mean, you just put your name on any old thing?
Yep. I did this time.
You did this time. All right. No smoking in the place. And
okay.
All right. All right. So you learned that lesson. Head right down that way. All right. Thank you for coming. All right. So step on in here. You satisfied how this comes out?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I thought it was very fair ruling.
Mm-hmm. He seems like a nice enough person. It's like he wasn't doing he wasn't doing anything malicious, it seemed.
Well, until the end, but he seemed like a nice man to me too. That's why I rented to him.
And you have something to say here?
Well, I'm her mother, but she's a very good
Mom.
landlord,
Yes.
you know.
Is she a good daughter?
Yeah, at times. No, she always is.
All right, Harvey. You know, a landlord can pretty much restrict anything that goes on in an apartment that he or she rents, and if you don't like it, the recourse is simply don't sign the lease or move. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
You know that feeling when someone shows up for you just when you need it most? That's what Uber is all about. Not just a ride or dinner at your door. It's how Uber helps you show up for the moments that matter. Because showing up can turn a tough day around or make a good one even better. Whatever it is, big or small, Uber is on the way. So you can be on yours. Uber, on our way.
This is the plaintiff, Trish. She says she was in the process of developing a clothing line and hired the defendant to print up some T-shirts. The man never delivered the T-shirts. Her client got tired of waiting around for them, and she simply wants a refund, which he refuses to give her. She's suing the lackluster T-shirt maker for $314 for the amount she paid him and the business she's lost. This is the defendant, O'Quarry. He says the guy who made the shirts made a mistake, and he told her there'd be a delay in fulfilling the order. He offered her a refund then and there, but she refused because she really liked the sample he made for her. 3 days later, she changed her mind, left him bizarre messages claiming she'd kill his family, and he couldn't even calm her down to talk some sense into her. Bottom line, he has the silkscreen done and will make the T-shirts because she's paid up in full. He's accused of making no shirt sense.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff says she hired the defendant to make some T-shirts, and he screwed it up, and it really messed up her business. But the defendant says the delay wasn't his fault, plus she threatened to kill his family. It's the case of shirt happens.
Douglas, okay. Trish, you've asked to be referred to only by your first name. You are suing O'Quarry, who has also asked to be referred to only by his first name, for $314, $165 that you paid him for shirts, and $149 for loss of business because you didn't get that deal. Tell me what happened.
So I met him through a mutual friend, and he told me that he's really good. He has a business that prints his shirts. So I contacted him to see him and, see his work, thing that he'd done from previous clients. So we met up and we spoke for a while. I saw the shirts that he'd done before.
And why are you in the business of making T-shirts?
I'm in the business of making T-shirts because my dream is to become a fashion designer. So what I wanted to do was come out with a clothing line. So I was coming out with 3 shirts first, just to start it off.
And
like
what
a
were the
promotion.
shirts?
One of the shirts, well, I have on one of the shirts right now.
See.
It's an imitation, a Chanel-inspired imitation. And I have 2 other shirts that were like quotes that me and my witness made up.
And what were the quotes?
One of the quotes was, excuse my language, the bird, don't blow my high. And the second one was, I love fashion, I adore style, and I would change for no one. When I met up with him, he told me that he will be able to make the shirts for me and that I have no problem. So the 1st of February, we said that I will pay half of the money first and pay the rest when all the shirts are done, when I go and pick them up. He said, okay. He wrote a receipt. Everything is on the receipt. He signed it and I signed it. That same day, that same night, I put the website up. And I had a few customers that went on the website and ordered things. So I'm in my head, he told me it'll be done the 11th of February, which was a week. So I said, okay. Now,
So what day did you put the website up?
February 1st.
Okay.
So after that, I contacted him during the week to make sure that everything was going okay, everything was good. And he said everything was good and that he'll have the shirt for me Monday. Monday came, I contacted him so we can meet up, and he wasn't responding. So he told me, when we spoke on Wednesday. He said that the person that he has doing his shirts made a mistake and all the shirts are not done, which I never knew someone else was doing my shirts for me. I thought he was doing it because he told me that the first day we met. So I said, okay, well, when would they be done? Because I really need the shirts. He said, give him another week. So he said to give him by next week. I said, okay. Next week came, he still didn't have the shirt, but he sent me a picture of a shirt. He said, okay, the shirts are done, right? He sent the picture.
Let me
and
see
I
the
saw
picture and the text that he sent saying it was done. So go on.
So for 4 weeks, almost like basically a month, I was nice to this guy for the whole time. Yes, I did get frustrated and I did curse at him and stuff like that, but not at all.
You placed the order when?
February 1st.
And it's now February 22nd and he's still stalling?
Yes. So I did not threaten him or his family.
Why don't you just give her back her money? What happened?
Oh, where do you want me to start?
I want you to start from why you don't have the shirts 21 days later.
Well, the guy who did the shirts, she wanted black shirts. The guy did gray shirts. That's one thing. She wanted...
Let me see the gray shirt. It might be really nice and gray. How does Chanel feel about this?
They don't know yet. They don't know yet.
I don't know. I don't know that it would be a copyright violation because you got that whole running thing. I don't know. Maybe it would be, maybe it wouldn't. What size is this one? I may have to keep this as evidence in my evidence vault. Really cute. All right. So what did this guy do? How did he mess this up? Was it his fault or your fault?
Technically, it was his fault.
Because he got the color wrong?
Not only the color, she wanted V-neck, he gave me a round neck. He did everything pretty much wrong, and I won't deny she did work with me.
So why didn't you just give her back her money? It was $165.
I said the same thing.
You didn't have the money?
Because no, I paid this guy, and I wanted my money back from him.
Well, yeah, but if you're the guy who picked the bad guy to make shirts, why does she have to eat it and wait? Why don't you have to eat it and wait?
She started making threatening phone calls to me.
Tell me about that.
It's on the text message. You can look at the text message and see some of the things she was saying.
The threatening phone calls aren't on the text message. Tell me about the phone calls.
So, if somebody threatens violence in the middle of a business dispute, is that a crime?
Yes, it is.
Why do you say? I mean, a lot of people just get worked up sometimes.
No, it's a threat to bodily harm, and you have to take it seriously.
And it doesn't matter whether it's a business dispute or just two strangers.
Nope, doesn't matter a bit.
Fair enough. I agree with you. Going inside the courtroom.
Some of the phone calls are pretty much like, oh, you think you playing games. I don't know who you think you're playing with. Some about killing me, my family.
Killing you and your family?
Yeah,
That's
my kids.
Whoa.
Saying, oh, you're supposed to be this strong black brother. You full of this and that.
Did you say you were going to kill him and his family?
No, I did not. First of all, I'm not killing anyone for $165.
Okay, would you kill someone for a little more money?
No, because obviously I'm still living. I'm not poor. I'm not living on the street because he did not give my $165 back. It's the principle. You don't take someone's money and not want to give it back. So that's why I got mad and frustrated and cursed. I did not threaten him. I said, I can put this on. I said, and it's in the text, you can put this, I said, you're gonna give my money back. I don't know who you're playing with. I put this on your kids that I'm getting my money back. I'll see you in court. And it's in the text message.
What does that mean, I put this on your kids?
Basically saying, I'm telling you for a fact that I'm getting my money back. It's like a little...
It's kind of threatening.
Slang.
I can't even repeat the stuff you're saying here.
Exactly.
Because I did curse.
Curse.
A little
That's
bit
like,
more
I
than
mean, you're. I'm putting all this on your blanking kids that you ain't getting away with this. You blanked with the wrong person, and you're supposed to be this black powered type.
That's what he told me.
And then the N word is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and I've got something for that behind.
Behind ain't the word.
Yeah, that's
not
kind of
threatening.
threatening.
I said I sue you in court.
You know, here's the thing. Let me just tell you something. You're right, but this is no way to handle stuff. And you don't know if he's going to just snap and something bad's going to happen. All right? If he tells you, go ahead, I'll meet you for your money, and then something bad happens because you threatened his kids, you can't deal with people like that. This is just business. It's T-shirts. It's $165. Now, I don't really care who you sub this to. You owe this lady $165. Pay the lady. Why $149 for loss of business?
Because those people ordered shirts and I have...
Okay, that's what I need to see. Proof that you lost $149 worth of business. Now, the $149, you calculated it in terms of the cost of the T-shirts?
Because it's $25 each shirt, but online, it's like... It came up to like $25 plus the tax, plus the shipping and handling.
Yeah, but shipping and handling is shipping and handling. You didn't have to go through shipping and handling. So you sell them for $25, and the 54 shirts were going to be $330, right? So 330 divided by 54 shirts means that each shirt was going to cost $6.11. So if you're selling it for $25, then your profit margin on each, because it's business 101, right? Your profit margin on each shirt is $18.88. Okay? So if I believe you on the $25 and I trust you on that, and then I see the orders you weren't able to fill, would have been a loss of profit margin in the amount of $113.33. I am going to order him to pay back the $165 plus the loss of profit margin. And therefore, he owes you $278.33. Got it? Okay, did you find another supplier?
Yeah. I had
Okay,
to.
so are you in production on all these things?
Yeah.
Okay. So you want your shirt back?
No, I don't want that. You can have that.
There we go. All right. Okay, $278.33. Verdict for the plaintiff.
Defendant's first out here. This is your last chance to put a cap on what went down there. Okay, those shirts are yours now, right? You're going to keep those? Okay, there he goes. That leaves us with the plaintiff who won our case. I imagine you have something to say.
Yeah, I'm just happy that this is all over with. It was annoying going through this whole process. I didn't think it would take that long.
What's with the threatening messages?
That was so not true. I wouldn't threaten someone or their family for $165. I let him know that I was going to take him to court, but he didn't want to hear that, so.
All right. So those are your designs, the ones you described in the courtroom there. Anything else? You got any other sayings that are going to be coming out?
Yeah, spring collection going to come out soon. So,
all right. Maybe you have an extra "Don't Blow My High" one for some of the guys. Huh?
Sure.
All right. Harvey?
You know, everybody think they're just words. When you say, I'm going to kill you, that theoretically is a crime and it could get you in big trouble.